All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Why is your picture moved? Why is your picture moved? Why is
Okay, is that any better?
test test?
Yes.
See, you're just a goober. That's all it is. Oh
Okay,
man,
whatever.
let's
All
do
right.
this.
So, welcome to the stream, everyone. We're here. We're going to go through basically the decks that you guys voted for. We're going to do the Shadow Assassin tonight and the Volcanic Warrior. Going to show off some Varia, how it's actually played this time, so you can get a better idea of how everything works. And, just watch me just repeatedly beat Sean into the dirt. So I was going to be nice, but, I mean, you started
I
Twitter beef, so now I'm gonna
I had
unload on
to.
you.
I had to. But that said, the one thing that you've missed, Ant, is introductions are in order. Ant Testator is the gentleman talking right now, and
That's a good point.
myself, I am Sean Dunn, and Ant is the one that's moving in the bottom left, in case you're wondering, and I'm the one who, for some reasons, camera decided not to work.
Yeah,
So I'm the static, nice image, trying to smile at you guys.
right. Yeah, Sean's frozen, but that's okay. All right, so I'm going to be piloting the Shadow Assassin tonight, and Sean's going to be doing the Volcanic Warrior. So, basically, for those of you who don't know, Varia, it's a 1v1 combat game where essentially our decks allow you to take on a class and fight against someone else who is taking on another class. So, for example, I am playing the Shadow Assassin deck, and Sean is playing the Volcanic Warrior.
I had a feeling it'd go down that way. Just somehow there's
That I would be the
and
assassin.
that you would be the assassin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in your
It is
stealthy nature.
it is my one thing that I do really love. But inside each deck, you can expect to see some different stuff, some stacks that we use for tracking things like buffs and debuffs, some tokens. Oop, we don't really need this. Some tokens, as well as some equipment. And so that's what I'm pulling out right now. And a 30-card deck. So, whoops.
Ooh, Nelly.
There we go. Accidentally deleted it there. So yeah, essentially what you want to do is when you open up your decks, you want to pull out any stacks that are inside, set those to the side, as well as any tokens, and set those to the side as well. Because these aren't things that you're going to need immediately. They might come up as you're playing the game. The next thing you're going to want to do is pull out your equipment cards and put them into the play area in front of you. These equipment are things that you can use over and over again. You can think of them as kind of like the stuff that your character brings with them to the fight, right? So if this was an RPG, this might be your +2 hammer or something, right? You always kind of have it on your person. You can always bonk people in the head with it, right?
You mind if I do and pull out all my stuff right now?
Yeah, no, go ahead. You pull your stuff out, get set up as I'm talking. The other thing that you have is a deck of 30 action cards. This is what you will ultimately shuffle up and draw from. And these actions represent a lot of the different things that your character can do, different attacks that you can perform, blocks, dodges, that sort of thing.
All right, I'm going to ask you to, as the master of this event, just delete that card for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that beautiful black useless card right there.
Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so when you start a game, you start with 30-card deck, 30 health. So Sean and I both have 30 health right now. And 30 gold worth of items. So if I were to pull up an item here, right, you can see in that bottom corner. Here, I'll move it over here so it's better. In the bottom center, there's a gold icon that tells you how much gold your item is worth. So, as you can see, I have a Profane Memento that's worth 1, a Ebon Cloak that's worth 15, and a Bowie Knife that's worth 14. So a total of 30 gold. Sean, on the other hand, has a Thorium Crusher, which is a total of 20, and a Molten Ravager, which is 10. So those are his items. All right. So we're just going to dive right in. We're not going to explain so much every rule as we're playing the game. We're more going to assume that you guys know some of the basics because we do, we have a demo online. We have some stuff out there that can kind of walk you through getting up to speed in terms of like basic stuff. But we will try to talk about like different lines of play, what we're thinking, why we might be doing the things that we're doing, that sort of thing.
Cool. All right.
So,
let's do it.
well, let's. Oh yeah, right. So the first thing we're gonna do, draw 6 cards. Exactly. 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. Here you go, Ant. You can roll to see who goes first, obviously.
Okay.
Wonder if anyone's going to notice this in the
got?
stream. I got a 5.
5.
Yeah. So what? Oh, you're not going to use the D4 I gave you?
I got a 5. Nah, dude, come on.
All right, fine.
I'm not even gonna. I wasn't even gonna acknowledge it.
Oh, fine. All right, go for it. I rolled a 2 the second time around.
Okay. And I have.
Please say a 1.
A1. All right, so
Beautiful.
You're first.
All right. So give me a second, guys, as I flip all my cards so that way I can see what's going on here.
So while he's doing that, one thing that I really like to do is try to organize my hand into attacks and blocks. I found that, I don't know, it just makes it easier for me to try to plan out the different stuff that I'm doing.
I, on the other hand, am a very chaotic person. I do not need to do that. However, that said, what I'm going to do here is I am going to say I'm going to start engaged with Ant, and then I'm going to open up. I see the arrow here, Ant. Is it you're going to be left to right on your side?
Yeah, you can play however you want, left to right on your side. I'll just match what you're doing. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. I'll do it. I'll do this in your direction.
Okay.
Let's just go and use both equipment right off the bat. Let's come at you with that.
Interesting.
Go ahead.
Okay. Excellent. So what do I want to do? All right, so Sean's coming at me with essentially a 3/3 and a 1/0, totaling 6 action points.
Real quick, Ant, one thing I just noticed when you did that,
sure.
Move the card down here just so that way the guys can see it, because it cuts off the top. They didn't understand or see what was going on the top there. So go ahead.
Gotcha. Okay.
So up on the top right, what he's talking about.
Thorium Crusher is a 3/3, costs 4, and Molten Ravager is a 1/0 that costs 2. So I'm thinking that he probably has something fast that he's going to supplement with here. Let's see, what do I want to do? Okay. I don't have a ton of great options. You know what? I'm just going to, I'll do an Ebon Cloak here. And I will say pass.
Nelly, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna say pass as well. We'll see what happens here. Go ahead.
Okay, so then I'm going to do a fast action Way of the Blade.
Okay.
And a fast action. Actually, I'll use my dagger here. Oops, as a combo.
Yeah. All right.
Let's say pass.
I did have that fast action for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and drop a fast action on top of the Thorium Crusher.
All right. Okay, so for those of you who don't know how Way of the Blade works, so the way this card works is essentially if my opponent is attacking me with something physical, then both my action and my opponent's action are treated as if they were unopposed. So normally, when an attack goes against an attack, they will clash with each other and cancel out some of their damage. In this case, we're not going to cancel anything, and Sean and I are just going to go full tilt and hit each other.
Okay. So wait, before you start getting dice, it technically goes back to you there, sir.
Yeah, I pass.
All right.
Do you pass?
Yeah, I don't know. I really kind of want to go for broke here, but I think I'm gonna pass for right now. We don't want crazy advanced mechanic type things going on. So, okay. So let's pass. Let's do this.
All right. So now that we have both passed, now we're going to go to resolution.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have? You have 2, and we both have 2 dice. We also roll focus, but that's not going to matter. We're going to automatically hit.
So you have that starter moment.
Unimpaired.
Yeah.
Correct. I have a starter moment which says that we're going to be unopposed.
Yes.
To each other. Right. Okay. So we can roll.
Oh,
it's looking good for me. Did you crit?
I did get a 4. I did crit.
Okay.
I got one crit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, thanks,
Ant.
Ant.
Mine off the table. All right, sweet. So I got a 4, so 7 total power, plus 0 from Bowie Knife and 0 from Way the Blade. So I'm going to deal a total of 7.
Okay, so I have from this Thorium Crusher, which I'll bring back down here again for you guys to see. Thorium Crusher says essentially if I crit on one of my focus rolls, which are those D4s at the top, I get a +3/+0 to this damage output of this action. So what I do have here is I have a 4 that I rolled, so I'm going to get 1 +3/+0, and then what happens is I can add on to that the 4 that I have, which is 7, plus the 3 that I have automatically from the Thorium Crusher, which is a total of 10. Unfortunately, the aimed edge does me no good because the aimed edge has a 0 added to it, so it's just 10 total I'm hitting you with.
Got it. Okay, so Sean's gonna go down.
Hey, 7. I can tick off my own life, son, but I'll do this for you.
Actually, I need you to do mine because I can't reach it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna,
yeah,
fair enough. I'm gonna move mine up. Because I just realized it's being blocked anyway.
And they can't even see it. You could be cheating.
Yeah. I'm at 20. Sean's at 23. Okay. So that's the
Perfect.
first moment. And now we'll go into the second moment. So here I have a block. And I'm attempting to essentially avoid this attack entirely.
Yeah. Notice that his focus on this is really high. Unless he gets a 1, I can't hit him.
Exactly. So I rolled a 3 because my focus is higher than his focus and my card is a block. His attack will automatically miss.
And he rolled anything besides a 1. Beautiful. Okay.
All right. So once play is over, or the turn is over, any items will return back to your play area, and any actions that you played will go to discard.
I'm just going to put my discard right here because I can see that and actually interact with that.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, your turn.
All right, and so start of the next turn, we will each draw 2 cards. Move mine up here. And now I will become the active player.
Yep, and you get to choose.
Right, and so I'm going to choose to start disengaged.
I had a feeling.
Okay. All right, so I am going to play a Phantom's Kiss and say pass.
I will. Let's do. Crud. Let's do this. Let's go with a Thorium Crusher. Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, so it comes back to me. So for fast actions, I'm going to combo my dagger, say pass.
Okay. For fast actions for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put an explosive charge, which I probably should drop down here so that way our audience can read it.
Yep. All right. And then I am going to do... Are you doing anything else?
No, not for right now. Good going.
I'm going to do a wind shank.
Oh, you jerk.
Say pass.
Okay. I pass.
Okay, so both passed. We'll go to resolution. First, we would have to pay for these, but my total is 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm under 10, so we're not even going to really bother worrying about it. Sean's the same way. He's at 4 plus another 2.
Yeah,
So,
we should have explained that the first time around, but
okay.
we've been under. It's just a mechanic that you have to remember. So
once you basically get the hang of the game and play it a lot, there are a lot of things that you can kind of shorthand or do quickly. One of which is the resource system. So it uses this thing called action points. So in the top left of every card, there's an action point cost, and every turn you have 10 that you can spend. You don't do so until you resolve each moment. 9 times out of 10, you end up using 10 or less, so it becomes easy enough to just kind of shorthand that math. And that's really what we were doing there. So, like, yeah. I have a total of 9, Sean has a total of 6. So we're not really even bother doing the check to make sure we can afford it, because it's obvious that we can both afford it.
Perfect.
Right.
All right.
Anyway,
okay.
So my
so start a moment
here has a start of moment trigger. So at the start of the moment, what it will do is it will check and it will see if I am disengaged from my target. I am, and so this action will get +3/+3 until the end of moment. So this is in total a 6/6, and I also have a 0/0 and another 0/0. So really what I'm doing is I'm attacking with a 6/6 that also has 3 sets of dice along with it.
Yeah, and so notice that Ant went first on that for his start moment because he is that active player that we're talking about. It's his turn.
Correct.
So.
Yeah, whenever there are competing start of moment effects, as there are right now, the active players will resolve first, followed by the reactive player. Same is true for end of moment triggers, that sort of thing. So in this case, Sean also has a start of moment trigger.
Yep,
that
says engage.
Engage, right. And if the action causes him to become engaged with his target, then he gains an extra power die. So since he was disengaged, he jumped forward, he's going to get a bonus power die with explosive charge. So short version, he and I are both going to be rolling 3 dice for this moment. Oh.
Yes, baby.
I rolled a 6, a 6, and a 4. What'd you get?
So I rolled one of my 2 dice critted.
Right. So
on the focus.
+3.
Got a 6, a 1, and a 4. So I have basically 14 showing. Oh, plus the 3. Yes, you're right.
So you have 17 total.
Yep.
I have 6 plus 6 plus 6, so 18 plus 4 is 22. So 22.
Ouch.
So unlike the last turn where we were both unopposed, right, due to Way of the Blade, in this turn our attacks are hitting against each other. And so my 22 damage, I mean, that sounds like a lot, right? Like for those of you who play trading card games, you might be thinking, you know, this is insanity. Like, you're dealing 22 damage on turn 2. But the real case is that I'm attempting to deal 22. Sean is attempting to deal 17. So those two will cancel each other out, and I will end up dealing 5.
Can you take me down? Because I now can't click my button.
So Sean is now at 18. So really not too bad, right? If he would have rolled worse, it could have been worse because I rolled very well. Okay.
All right.
So end of turn. So any of our equipment will return to our equipment area, and any cards that we played will go to our discard.
All right.
And all right, start of turn 3. Sean is active player, so he will be going first.
And I'm going to choose to be engaged with you again, son.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, let's start off with Fenrock's Tether here. Then we'll go to, let's go for...
So Fenrock's Tether has an interesting ability, and I'm going to pull it up on the side here so that we can leave it up. It's interesting in that what it does is it doesn't have ranged on its own, but if in the moment you started engaged, it will still hit even if your opponent somehow disengaged or gained some distance on you. So it's kind of ranged, but not, in that, you know, if you were already at distance, you couldn't just, you know, slap someone with the tether. But it does give the warrior some semblance of dealing with a character who's able to backpedal a lot and kite, which is something that the Shadow Assassin tries to do.
Okay, so what happens is I play those two. Let's see, make sure I have enough 7. Let's go ahead and just for a little bit of extra oomph in there. Ooh, let's drop. Yeah, no, that's, you know what? We're good. We're good for right now. I'm going to let it go.
Got it.
Let it ride.
Okay.
All in red.
So I'm facing down a 2/2 and a star 5. So I'm going to move this down here a little bit. So Cranial Crash. This has power equal to the highest aggression requirement of cards in Sean's discard pile. So since last turn he played an Explosive Charge. Explosive Charge has a requirement of 6, and I know that because in the bottom right corner of the card there are 6 aggression attribute symbols. So that means in total his Cranial Crash is going to be 3 plus 6 or 9 power, which is a pretty big deal. So I need to figure out the best way that I can deal with that. And I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just do a Sublimate here and a Brace Yourself here and say pass. So I'm basically attempting to potentially mitigate his Fenrock's Tether altogether, because a 4/4 block against a 2/2, I have a good chance of rolling high focus and completely avoiding. But the other thing that I am capable of doing is Brace Yourself, right? So Brace Yourself is this 8/0 block. It's this kind of like just big giant block that I'm hoping can kind of counteract this 9/5 a little bit.
Yeah. And I will not drop anything for a fast, so I'm going to pass off to you. Do you want to do anything for fast?
Let's see. 4, 5. No, I do not.
All right, let's go.
Pass. All right, so we can go to resolution. All right, so this first one here, we're each going to roll. Again, since Sean is attacking into a block, he needs his focus to be equal to or higher than mine.
Oh, this is not looking good, boys.
So I rolled a 3 for focus, so my total focus is 7.
Yeah, and I have a total of 4. So, nope. You're totally getting out of the way of that one.
So Fenrock's Tether will completely miss. It doesn't matter what our power was. His attack just does not hit me. Okay, so moving on to this next moment here. So again, attack into a block. He needs his focus to be higher. I rolled a 4, but my base focus is 0. His base focus is 5, so there's really no way that he could miss in this regard. Power-wise, I rolled a 3, so I have 8 plus 3, 11
and I
total.
rolled a 3.
What do you have?
So 9 plus 3, which is 12 total.
Perfect. So
I got you.
In all, he's going to deal 1 damage to me.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So that'll end the turn. Cards will go to discard. Okay, start the next turn. I'm now the active player. Okay. And I'm going to... Okay, so I have a really interesting play here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead things off with a subtle strike.
I recognize this play because I've used it many times too. And this, the best thing I can do for this, I think, is let's do. I'm gonna go and drop the all too familiar brace yourself.
Okay, so I can do 2 things here, right? One, I have a very good combo, right?
Wait. Actually, Ant, there's a problem with that.
Oh, you actually can't play brace yourself, correct?
Exactly. Right. You're right.
Yeah. So Subtle Strike has this ability on it. It says actions with power greater than this action cannot be planned to clash with it. That just means it can't be planned to go against it in a moment. So Sean tried to do that with an 8-0, but since its power is higher than 3, it's actually not allowed. So he has to come up with something else. So what he's opted to do here is play Combat Reflexes. Now, what's interesting about Combat Reflexes is that when you plan it, it creates a token, and that token is a copy of itself. But I was the active player this turn, and I only created a single moment. So you might ask yourself, well, what happens to this other copy of Combat Reflexes? Where does it go? And the answer is that since there are no other moments in this turn, it will go into what is called the queue. And all that means is that it'll sit over here, and on the next turn, it will immediately become the first action that Sean has to perform.
Correct. Yeah. If you end up throwing multiple things in the queue,
the order matters.
Order matters. You can kind of just drop them wherever. You don't need any specific. We just drew this for you guys, but
right. Yeah.
Either way,
we
wherever
usually
you want it.
We'll designate it with something like we'll draw a line. We'll say like, okay, here like cards from here over are in the queue, and they will happen next turn. So Black Mamba asks, okay, so you must play the queue. It's not at your option. Correct. You have to do it. So the way you can think about it is almost like a program, right? So for this turn, I've said my directive is I'm going to Subtle Strike, and that's it. Sean entered in, I'm going to Combat Reflexes. So those 2 are already in the system, and they just need to be resolved. In this turn, we're only going to resolve one of the 2. Next turn, that other one needs to happen. If that makes sense. If we were robots, right? Anyway, so Sean is passed to me, and so it comes back now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a card called Slice 'em Up. And I'm going to play it as a combo with Subtle Strike. Now, the reason why this is such a good combo is that Slice Them Up has a base power of 0. So it will not increase Subtle Strike's power at all. So Sean is still locked into a scenario where he can only play cards that have a power of 3 or less in this moment, right? On top of that, Slice Them Up has an ability at the start of moment where I can pay 2 action points to give it an additional power die. So I have the option to ramp up my damage without increasing my base power at all. And so I put Sean in a very precarious position where he needs to deal with a high amount of potential attack damage without using high power, which is a tough thing to do. So anyway, pass.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. This is not looking pretty. I have to pass.
Oof. Okay. All right. So I'm also going to pass. We're going to go to resolution. So at the start of moment, all right. So this is where paying for actions will matter, right? So in order to perform this action, I need to pay a total of 5 action points. So every turn we have 10, right? So I'm now down to 5. My card, Slice Them Up, says I may pay 2 action points to give this action an additional power die, and I may repeat this any number of times. So I have 5 action points left. I can only repeat it twice, which I will do. So I'll go down to 1 action point. I will pay the 4. I'll gain extra die. So in total, this moment, I will be rolling 4 power die and 2 focus die. Now, all of that said, right, Sean's base focus is 5. And this is a block. So in order for my attack to land, my focus needs to be equal to or higher than his focus. So let's just say Sean rolled a 4 here. His total focus would be 9. And I have a base focus of 3 and 0. I would need to roll 6 or higher just to hit him. So essentially, even though I'm stacked here on power and I have the potential to hit very, very hard, if my focus rolls are poor, it could be all for naught, and I could totally miss.
Okay.
So I'm hoping Sean rolls a 1.
Or 2.
And
I'm hoping you roll a snake eyes. I got 2. You should be rolling. Don't be looking at my die.
All right.
This all happens at the same time. I'm screwed.
All right, so you got a 2. So you have a 7 total focus. I got a 4 and a 1, so that's 5. So I have an 8, so I hit.
Yep.
In total, all right. How much damage are you preventing?
4.
4. Okay, so I am dealing 5, 6, 7, 8,
12.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Yeah.
And you're preventing 4.
Yep, so 12 comes and
so
hits
you
me.
go down to 12. Sean is sitting at 6 health.
Not looking pretty. Okay. Ready?
All right, yep, so we'll go to cleanup. So we're going to move these here since these were played. And as we mentioned before, at the start of Sean's turn, he's immediately locked in. He has to put combat reflexes as his first card there. So now he's in a weird position where it's his turn to be the active player, but his first action is defensive. So,
So let's go ahead and draw. Get this going.
All right, so I'm going to erase that line there.
I'm going to start disengage with you.
Interesting. Okay. I will. Interesting.
Throwing you for a loop. I'm gonna drop some other stuff here. So give me a sec. I'm just thinking.
You're starting disengaged with me.
Yes,
Okay.
starting
Oh, all
disengaged.
right, all right, all right. Go ahead, plan out your turn. What the heck?
Ugh.
Okay. All right. So Sean has played 3 shield spears. All right, Sean. Why don't you talk through that a minute?
This madness. Okay,
And
so
I'm gonna pull that card up so everyone can see it.
what's happening here is essentially I know that I'm at really low health right now, 6, and if I take a wallop of a hit, Ant could really quickly um, get me down and into death range, right? What I'm thinking in my head is I'm locked into this weird dodge going on here for the first one. So it's in my best interest right now to try to get as far away from Ant as possible to get this juke thing that I've got going on that I've been locked into, um, to basically resolve itself out of the queue, out of the timeline here. And then what ends up happening is it will go and uh, get me the least amount of chance to get hit from this. Because I, again, don't have much health. What I have in my hand, I know you guys can't see it. I'm going to talk through it though, is that I have no fast actions to replace the juke that I'm doing through here. So fast actions, we've been using them in combos thus far. What ends up happening is there's another use for them, which is a replacement. And I can choose to basically forget something on the timeline, one of the actions that's in a moment on the timeline, and put in place the fast action that's there. Unfortunately, I don't have any fast actions for me. So what I do have though is I can try to pepper Ant from range, because I have some abilities to basically shoot Ant through this shield spear card that you see on the screen now. I have all 3 of them in my hand currently, because the max that you can have a quantity of any one card in a deck is 3. I have had all 3 of them in my hand. My best shot right now is to get some damage marked on Ant. That what ends up happening is I have the least chance of getting hurt in return for it. So I want to start engaged because I want to have, or excuse me, disengaged because I want to make sure that I'm dodging and I can't replace that. I want to make sure I don't have that, but I want to continue that throughout the entire turn. So even though I may or may not have things that say engage, it's not in my best interest yet to get an engagement on this. And so what happens is I drop Ant's health a little bit lower to more of a, I can guarantee that I can kill him even though I might die as well on this one.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is just pepper him right now with some spears.
All right, so I'm going to do this and say pass.
Gotcha. So Ant has chosen to put down a Drega right on there. The interesting thing about shield spears is that I may discard a block card at time of resolution, basically, as we go down the timeline. So technically, even if I don't say have 3 of these, I can choose when to throw the spear. So I put 3 of them down, knowing full well that I'm not going to be able to use maybe 1 or 2 of these, or maybe all 3. But what's going to end up happening is I am going to do my best to, in the timeline, toss some cards out to go and get some damage marked on Ant. And I want to choose whichever moment he does nothing in. So I am also going to pass.
Okay. So then I am going to play Snake Bite here, which since you are below 10 health, I can play as if it were fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I will get a token, and I'm going to put it here.
Right.
And so then I will say pass.
Okay.
And so what I'm doing is I'm recognizing that Sean has 3 2/2s. Most likely, Black Mamba, to your question, most likely he does not have 3 blocks that he's going to be willing to pitch all in one turn to get these little special bonuses. So what I'm doing is I'm just matching his 3 2/2s with 3 2/2s of my own. And I'm hoping to just straight up get some card advantage on him here because Sean basically played 3 cards this turn in order to try to pull this off, whereas I only had to play 2. And so I'm hoping to gain a little bit of an edge on him by just not planning as many actions as he had to do. So anyway, I pass.
Okay. I'm going to pass as well.
All right, so then I'll pass and then we can go to resolution.
Yeah. Okay. So this first moment here, as we go down, Ant has done nothing in it. I still have to roll for everything that's there, just in case there's something that would, from a different class, say something regarding how much rolling goes on. But it's not going to matter for this purpose. And I just threw that dice off. It was a perfect roll, too. Look at a 4 and a 6. Oh,
yep, too bad it's useless.
Yeah, too bad it's useless. And 1 turn too late.
Throw it in the trash.
Yeah. All right, so there we go. Next up, we go. Whoa. Stays on the timeline, son.
All right. Sorry.
Okay. Then what ends up happening is here we go to the essentially the jukes that we're trying to pull here. So Ant has 3 of them. I want to try to figure out.
So we resolve this moment.
Yes.
And
but
so
I'm right now.
You have a start of moment trigger that says you may discard a block. If you do, it gets ranged and +2, -2. So you have to decide whether or not you want to discard a block.
Correct. So what I want to do right now is I want to choose which of these. And this is what I'm talking to. Which of these 3 cards of Ants that I want to go up against with discarding something, if I want to. The answer to that is I do. Well, maybe. I don't know. See, now that this is planned out the way it is, I'm not feeling it. So let's just go past it. I'm not going to discard a block.
Okay. So since we are both disengaged, both of our attacks will miss because neither one of them has ranged.
Right.
But we would still roll. These rolls don't matter because there are no cards in play that care about us rolling. So yeah, I rolled a 6 and a 2. Doesn't really matter. We would go to the next moment then. Are you going to do the same thing?
No, not for this. No, not for this one.
So you are going to discard a block for this one?
I'm not. No. I'm not going to do it.
Okay. So again, we're just going to miss. We would roll. These rolls don't matter. Okay. Nothing happens.
On the next one, you thought I was not going to discard a block, but I do.
Okay. So Sean discards a block, which makes his attack become ranged. And so now these rolls actually do matter.
Yeah. The suspense was killing me.
Okay. So I got a 3, so 5 total. And you have a 9 total, so I take 4.
Yeah, so this is 9. Perfect.
All
right. So I marked a little damage on them, and we're good to go. Okay. So interesting note. This is the first time that we've had tokens this time around. Note that the tokens basically do not go to your discard. Instead, they just go back to wherever you are storing tokens. They poof.
Yep.
So,
okay.
All right.
So next turn, and I will be active player. Okay. And so I am going to play Slice 'em Up, and externally I'll say I want to start engaged.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to play Slice 'em Up, and I will say pass.
Oh god. Okay. I have a feeling that Ant is going to go very big on this Slice 'em Up. So what I'm going to do here is try to go as big as I possibly can as well. let's go with. I'm gonna drop a cranial crack
Okay. Cranial crash.
or crash. Sorry. Yes. Ooh, bar.
Okay. I
Can't read.
pass.
All right. I'm gonna pass as well.
Okay. All right. So remember, Sean has a card in his discard pile that has an attribute requirement of 6 aggression. So his cranial crash here will be a 9/5. Okay. All right. So at the start of this moment, again, I get to choose to pay 2 action points to give this action an additional power die. This action costs 2, so I'll have to pay my initial 2, and then I have 8 remaining, so I will pay all 8 to gain an additional 4 power die. So in total, this will have 5 power die and 1 focus. And so I have a 0/0 or a 0 power card with 5 power die. Sean has a 9 power card with 1 power die. So I'm hoping I roll well. And he rolls
and
poorly,
I did not
which
roll well.
he did. So you
Come
have
on.
11. All right, big money, big money. 4. Okay, so I have in total, oops.
4, 7, 8, 10,
8, 10,
12,
14 total.
14, and I have the 9 plus the 2, so I have 11. So I'm going to tick down 3.
Yep. All right, so Sean is at 3.
All right.
All right. And next turn, Sean becomes active player.
Oh, man. So I'm going to choose. Unfortunately, folks, I think I have to go engaged on this one. Yeah, let's start this off engaged. And then what I'll do here is I will I'll drop a single Spellbreaker.
All right.
There you go. So what I'm doing right now is I know that in my hand I don't have the right stuff to be super defensive, and I could choose to try to run away, but Ant, because he's the Shadow Assassin, has a lot of strong ranged cards, and so I'm hoping maybe I can get some of my bigger hits to proc on this, but in order to do that I have to get engaged with Ant. So we're trying to go and get into this fight soon and kind of stay up in there for a little bit longer. It's not looking good for me, folks, right now, but that's the plan. It also limits his ability to drop certain cards because I'm getting my buffs only if he goes to a magical abilities or actions.
Yep. And so I'm playing a Subtle Strike here. And the reason I'm doing that is because he's already showing a power of 3, and so I'm essentially trying to lock him into only playing this card and not buffing it further.
Yeah.
So okay, so I'll play Subtle Strike and say pass.
All right. I will pass on fast actions.
All right, so I will combo my dagger.
Okay.
Say pass. Oop.
All right. I will still pass.
All right, I'll also pass.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so since neither of my actions are magical, Sean will not get his bonus of +3. Ooh, a 6.
Oh, beautiful.
All right. So you rolled well and I rolled poorly. Okay. So in total I have 6, and in total you have 9, so I'll take 3. 2, 3. All right. Equipment goes back. This goes here. And now I am the active player. Okay. I will start disengaged.
Okay.
And I will play a single Phantom's Kiss and say pass.
Okay. I will drop a Sublimate, and I will say pass.
Okay. I will combo my dagger. Say pass.
Okay. I will combo a Swift Escape and say pass.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Whew.
Let's see. Thank you, by the way. Was it Blue Counterspell? Was it? I missed the name. But thank you for the for subscribing to the chat.
Kill him.
I love it. Okay. All
Oh
right.
no, I'm trying, buddy. He means me.
That's
Trust
for
me.
me. That's for
No,
me.
totally means me.
No. Anyways, all right. So start of moment. I have a trigger here. It says if I'm disengaged from my target, then this action gets +3. So in total, it's a 6/6 with 2 dice. Since I'm at ranged, I'm capable of hitting him still, even though we're disengaged from each other.
Yeah.
But, as always, my focus needs to be equal to or higher than his in order to actually hit. I have a feeling that his play here, he's trying to dodge.
Well, that didn't work too well
All
from
right,
trying
so
to dodge.
In total, I got a 4 and a 1. So 11 is my focus.
So I got 3 plus the 4 plus another 3. I have 10 only. Excuse me. 4 plus the 6 total. Yeah. So 10.
All right. So
and then
hit, and how much are you preventing?
I'm preventing 4 plus another 4.
So
which is 8.
And I'm dealing 6 plus another 4, which is 10. So you go down to 1. Oh,
Whew. Whew.
Why won't you just die already? What the heck?
I'm like a cockroach, baby.
All right. Turn ends. Put your stuff in your discard.
Yeah, I'm going. Whew.
And now Sean is active player.
All right. I'm going to choose to be engaged with you, Ant.
Okay.
And I will go straight for the kill with a beautiful decapitate and pray to the gods of the card game.
All right, so decapitate. so this card costs 9, right? Yes, off with their heads, Black Mama. That's exactly correct. This is a big hit, right? It's a 10-5 for 9. It basically creates one huge moment for yourself where you're trying to deal as much damage as possible. With a kicker that if he crits, or when rolling his focus, if he gets a 4, so maximum value, then this action will get plus infinity power, which means it doesn't not matter what I do to try to block it, I will die. So my only 2 options to not get hit by this, or not get killed by this card, rather, is to not get hit by it. And there are 2 ways that I can not get hit. One is that I have a super high focus, right? So for example, I could play something like combat reflexes or a void walk, where it has a very high focus and makes it very difficult for Sean to hit me. Or what I could do is simply backflip. And so that's what I'm going to do. And what backflip does is at the start of the moment, I disengage. And so by disengaging, Sean's attempt to decapitate me is simply going to whiff.
Yeah. Didn't plan that one, folks. That's okay. We got this still.
So I will pass.
All right. Um. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on this one as well.
All right. So start of moment, we will disengage, and since we are disengaged, you will whiff. So go ahead and roll. I'm just curious what would have happened. Let's see. Sean is notoriously good at decapitating people.
And I decapitate.
Any roll to 4. Oh,
I love the heart of the game, but that said,
So
you
sad.
kind of ran away.
so
You
sad.
chicken. Yeah, you chicken. That's what it was.
So
All right,
sad. Oh,
let's keep going.
boo-hoo.
You still got to kill me.
Oh,
if
I
you
just
can.
threw my card off the table. There it is. Okay. All right. So next turn. Oh, I did it again. Here we go. I am active player. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do, again, I'm going to disengage, or I'm going to remain disengaged. And I'm just going to lead off with another Phantom's Kiss and say pass.
Right. Okay. Let's go with. Oh, jeez. This didn't work last time.
That's right, Mr.
Kind of worried it
Squiggles,
won't
I'm
work
feeling
again.
Good. I wish I had some sunglasses up here. You know what? I'm gonna listen to some good jams. I got this on lockdown.
I'm gonna go and do a same thing last time. That's sublimate. What's going on there?
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, I am going to combo my dagger. Say pass.
Okay.
So I am now shooting a bow of compressed shadow energy at you that also has a dagger stuck to it.
And I am just trying to dodge, dip, dive, and dodge. So that's my goal right now. So I got all that going on for me. I'm gonna pass back to you. See if you do anything else.
Okay, I am also going to play a snakebite fast as a combo. And so that
Which
will
creates
create a token. That token will go into the queue for next turn.
Okay. I'll also drop on, just in case somehow miraculously I survive this one, a nice little enrage. Go into a barbarian rage.
Okay. Sean is furiously dodging.
Yes. Very angrily at this point.
You are dodging with such vigor that you just turn to smoke.
That's pretty much it. That or I'm constipated.
Right.
I don't know which.
So
all right,
let's
go.
It. All right, so remember, my focus needs to be high enough that I actually do land. Fortunately, I get 3 focus die, so my chances are pretty high. Let's see what happens here. Ooh. I don't know. I didn't do so.
I got snake eyes on my focus.
All right, so
I am so screwed.
My total focus is 2, 4, 5, plus 6 is 11.
Yeah, you hit.
Just so I definitely hit.
Yeah, you landed it because I can only do snake eyes. I'm at 9.
Okay.
This is looking bad.
And I'm also dealing 6 because I got my bonus. Plus 6 is 12. Plus 5 is 17. Plus 2 is 19. So yeah, I obliterated you.
I believe it just rained shadow dagger thingamabobs with snake bites on them. Yeah, I'm.
We'll just
you
say
didn't count that right.
I think that looks right.
more like I think it was around there.
Whatever.
Just saying.
You're dead. You're super dead.
Yeah, right. But I get really angry as I die. Just
right.
I want to make that very clear to the group.
Okay. All right, so that's first.
But yeah, good game.
Yeah, good game. Good game. And what do you want to do? You want to shuffle up and do another one?
Sure, I'll go for another.
Cool. All right.
So 23.
Okay, so while we get set up here for game 2, do you guys have any questions, comments? Do you have anything that you want explained? Something you'd like to hear us talk about? What do you think? How did we choose the art? The the real answer is that Sean and I would stay up super late and argue until somebody presented a cool idea, and then that's what we would.
Well,
That's
there's
what we would
also
commission.
there's also the drives. I would call Ant up on a drive and just basically spitball ideas at him as well, and he
Yeah.
would just spitball ideas back at me, and I go,
Yeah, really, the way that it would work is that so there are a ton of artists out there who do freelance work, and so I would spend a lot of my time just kind of on the internet looking for people who were looking for work, and eventually we would find people who we felt our artistic style really matched the kind of vibe that we were going for the game. And so once we narrowed down our artists, then it was just a matter of asking them to paint things that we felt really spoke to the decks. So, for example, the Volcanic Warrior, like we really wanted it to be explosive in your face. So, like a lot of the cards, like Shield Spear, which is still up on screen, really feels like aggressive and fiery and flying at the camera type of a thing. The Assassin, on the other hand, we wanted it to be, shadowy and mysterious, but also feel dangerous. And so if I pull up Shadows, Phantom's Kiss again here, that's actually a great example of one where when you look at it, like it's got this sharp, dangerous looking arrow, but the character behind that attack is shrouded in darkness and can't really see his face. It's kind of mysterious, and so we really wanted to create that narrative and that feeling in the players themselves. So like as you're playing the deck and you're looking at the art, you really feel like the class that you've picked.
Yeah. So to expand upon that or make it quicker, I guess, we'd go to sites like ArtStation or other sites that are art specific. We would then go and look for artists that met the criteria that we were looking for. What then would end up happening is if I found the artist, I'd send it over to Ant. If Ant found the artist, he'd send it over to me. We'd both basically talk where we think we could slot that style, where we think it would fit and speak to any of these characters. And then from that, we'd reach out and go for some type of style sheet provided and explain to the artist what we're looking for and commission the art. So that's the long and short of it. I hope that helps you, Blue Counterspell. All right.
I am ready. Who went first last game? I don't even remember.
I think I did. Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. All right, so then I'll go first this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I will start things off with the subtle strike. I'll be engaged. Start things off with the subtle strike and say pass.
Okay. Once again.
So one of the cool things, and I'll say this about the assassin, right? So as you saw last game, Sean, as the Volcanic Warrior, has this very dangerous card, Decapitate. Normally, it's not super safe to engage the barbarian or Volcanic Warrior in close quarter combat, especially when you are the active player, because for example, Sean could immediately play Decapitate there in response, and then I'm kind of in like a rough spot where I now have to deal with that, right? The cool thing about the assassin is that because of my subtle strikes ability, where I lock him into a low power, I can kind of guarantee that my seedy little dagger attack can go under the radar of his more dangerous cards like Decapitate and things that have that high power. So one of the bonuses, if you will, to playing the assassin is that you actually can go toe-to-toe with the Volcanic Warrior in combat and feel relatively safe. Whereas other classes, it's a dangerous proposition to mess with the warrior. But anyway,
All right.
So that's what
Yeah.
we're doing. Okay, so
Yep.
excellent. So I'll do my dagger combo here, and I'll say pass.
All right. I'll say pass as well for right now.
Okay.
So go back to you.
I will weigh the blade.
Ooh, okay. Do I want to pass?
And say pass. So I'm gonna bring up weigh the blade here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so everyone can see it again. One of the other things that we really wanted the assassin to feel like as you're playing the game is we wanted to create this this narrative of kind of like a lot of damage just coming out of nowhere, right? So at first glance, you see this 3/3 subtle strike, and you think like, oh, that's not so bad, right? But a couple daggers later, and weigh the blade, and all of a sudden you're facing down some guaranteed damage. That's pretty terrifying. Right, because if I roll 3 6s, I could deal, what is that, 18 plus 3, 21 damage on turn 1. Like, it's very explosive, very scary, and it's purposefully designed that way so that you always kind of have to second guess what it is that the assassin might be trying to do.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna let dice roll. I actually think I have enough health to soak this one, so let's
you
go.
do. You're not in danger of dying.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. All right. So because so start of the moment, weigh the blade. It's gonna look to see if my opponent or if my target has physical, which they do. Right. Thorium Crusher is a physical attack strength. So we are going to hit each other unopposed. And just flat out deal damage. Sean rolled a 1. Did you crit though?
No, I did not crit.
You didn't even crit. Okay.
No, just 4 damage.
All right. Let's see.
This is looking so great as a start. Yeah,
Yes.
11, 13
right.
plus whatever you have.
2, 3, 4, 16. You're
16.
gonna take. Okay, so Sean's gonna go down to 14.
Great opening.
Hey man,
That's
I'm
true.
just giving
That's
people
true.
what they want, Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
All
feeling
right.
that some of our viewers are pretty happy about that little assassination attempt that occurred there.
I think it's only one, and it's you. All right, good to go?
Yep.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to start. Let's go with engaged.
Okay.
I'm going to do a twin strokes here. Let me turn it around.
Okay.
Twin strokes. I'm going to go and drop a Molten Ravager.
Okay.
And then I'll drop a Thorium Crusher at the end.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay. So Sean here is attempting to go. Our kind of like slang is go wide, right? So a lot of the turns that I've been taking as the assassin, I've been going tall, which just means that I've been stacking a lot of my cards on top of each other to create this one giant attack in a single moment. What Sean's attempting to do here is go wide. So he's taking his cards and he's spreading them out across the timeline in order to create multiple moments where he's going to be trying to deal damage. Both of those strategies have benefits as well as risks involved, right? And essentially what I think he's trying to do here is he's hedging his bets and saying that I'm most likely don't have enough cheap cards to be able to spread my actions out over 4 moments.
Correct.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to counter his play a little bit here by playing Arius Tarka in moment 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say pass. And what Arius Tarka does is that on hit, it applies, or it does one of two things. It can either ruin an item that the person who's hit controls, or it can apply 1 fatigue. And fatigue is a stack. So we haven't really had stacks come into play yet. But what they are ways to track buffs and debuffs. And fatigue is a particularly nasty debuff in that as long as you have fatigue, and it is a permanent stack, so it does not go away unless, another card removes it. But as long as you have fatigue, every action you perform at the end of the moment will cause you to lose 1 health point for each stack of fatigue that you have. And so my strategy here is I'm going to try to fatigue him moment 1 so that at the end of each of these moments, he's going to take a point of damage.
Okay. So I'm going to pass back to you and see if you do any fast moments.
Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to do, if you notice, Arius Tarka also has ranged, right? So what I'm going to do is in this next moment here, I'm going to Swift Escape. And Swift Escape has an end of moment disengage on it that I'm hoping will help me dodge the back half of these plays here.
Right. Okay. So I am still going to go, and I think I'm going to go and pass still on this one. Okay. And the reason why I feel like I'm passing right now is because if you notice, Arius Tarka also doesn't have only just a fatigue stack. It can apply. It can potentially ruin an item that I control. And you'll notice that both of my items are the 2 items that are on the timeline. What is interesting about this is that one of the 2 items has engage on it, and should he ruin that engagement tool or the underlying action that's there, that is going to cause me issues. So I want to make sure that I don't lose any moments that are there due to this ruination if he chooses to go that route. So I'm just going to pass.
Oh, I made an error.
I know you did.
I meant to play this here. That's okay. Oh, well. Whoops. It happens.
It's okay.
All right. So the last thing then that I'm going to do here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Wind Shank on top of my Arius Tarka to just give it a little extra oomph.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then I'm still passing on
Okay.
this.
All right, so I'll also pass.
Okay, perfect. Whew. Come on, baby. Big money, big money, big money.
Oh, boy.
Okay. 4 and a 4.
Okay. All right, so I have a 6. So
I saw and I sighed.
So I'm not going to take any damage. I'm going to choose to apply fatigue.
Okay. Either or, doesn't matter.
All right. So Sean now has fatigue. At the end of the moment, you'll take 1.
Right.
Okay. Oops. All right. Next moment. I don't know why I got rid of my dice.
Did you take me down?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay.
I rolled a 3. My total focus is 6. What do you got?
Total focus is 5.
Okay, so you'll miss, and then we'll disengage.
Yep.
All right, next moment, start of it, we'll engage. Yep.
Yep.
And so for these next 2 moments, Sean will be dealing damage unopposed because I have no cards played against them.
Okay. I can take a 4.
Okay.
So 5 total damage. You got it. Okay. And then the next one after that for the thorium crusher, we're looking at.
Well,
Oh,
so
I lost one.
You've
I lost
lost
one.
2 more.
Yes,
Here
correct.
and here.
And for the thorium crusher, we got 7, and then I lose 1.
Okay. All right.
All right. Oof. Okay, go ahead, Ant. Oof. Oh. Not easy. No one saw that, right?
Okay, I will start engaged. And I'll do a subtle strike and say pass.
All right, I will. See, I feel like that slice them up's going to come again. I really don't have a good option for that. Can't play that. Can't play that. Guess I could try to punch my way through it. Keep you a little at bay from using your magic.
All right, so we got a spell breaker. Okay. Yeah. I will. Are you doing anything else?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah,
I will combo my dagger. Say pass.
Okay, and I am also going to pass.
Okay, so I'll also pass.
Okay. So let's see. Hopefully I can. Oh, the card of the cards is not with me tonight.
All right. So you got 4
okay.
total. And I have a 3 plus, so 5, 10 total.
10.
So you take 6.
Oof. We're back in the same scenario. I'm down to 4, and then at end of moments, I'm going to take 1.
That's right.
All right.
All right, your turn.
Whew. All right. Let's get these out of the way. My turn. Here we go. I will decapitate. We're trying blue counter spell. We're trying. I'm gotta find it first in the deck. I only got one of them. So let's go and start disengage.
Okay.
Let's see. And we're gonna go and drop a shield spear. There you go. And then I'm going to pass. Yeah, just one little shield spear. Right. Trying to get that perfect opening. You know what I'm saying? Blue counterspell.
I'm going to play a Transfusion Draga here and say pass.
Gotcha.
So Transfusion Draga, this is a 2/2 that I regain any health points equal to the damage that I deal.
Okay. I will pass. I'm not going to play any quick actions on that. Okay. Or fast actions, excuse me.
I'm going to combo my Transfusion Draga with an Aimed Edge. So now I have ranged, and the fact that we're disengaged will not bother me anymore.
Okay. I think that forces my hand because I only have 3 health. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drop a fast action on there, combo it, and I will drop an explosive charge.
Okay. I will combo my dagger.
Okay. All right. And yeah. All right. I pass.
Okay, I also pass.
Sweet. So start a moment. I have two different triggers, right, that are going off.
Correct.
I have the engage. If this action causes me to move towards your target, you become engaged with them. I can get an extra power die, and then I get to choose also to may discard a block. If you do so, this action gets +2, -2 until it gains range until end of turn, end of moment. So what I'm going to do here, essentially, is I'm going to go and choose the layering of those, and I'm going to go and pitch a card first. I'm going to choose to pitch my backflip, because most likely I don't want to be disengaged from Ant anyways. That'll give me the +2, -2. So I'm now a 4-0 for that one. And then explosive charge after that to get that engagement and get the double power dice from the explosive charge. So do you have any more dice, or I can't see them?
That was a long way of saying that I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. There's a chance. There's always a chance that you come out on top on this one. Whenever you're on camera, you do really well.
I'm gonna kill him. So.
Not today. Good. Not today.
I rolled pretty good too. So 10 plus 2 plus 3, so 15 16. Total. What do you got?
16 total.
Oof. All right. So I take
4 plus another 4, 8 plus 3, 11 plus the 5.
Yeah. So an important distinction here. So if you remember my card, Transfusion Drago says that I regain health points equal to the damage dealt by this action. So I had 16 going at Sean, or sorry, 15. But since he had 16, that means that really what happened was he dealt 1 damage. I did not deal 15, so I would not gain 15 health.
Okay, perfect.
Otherwise, Transfusion Drago would be ridiculous.
Bonkers. Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
All right.
At the end of that moment, though,
I did take off. Yep.
So you're down to 2.
Yep.
Okay, so my turn. I'm just going to do my same good old I'm going to engage with you, and then Subtle Strike. Say pass.
Okay.
So blue counterspell said, did the dice rolling off the table come back? So I'm going to give you a short answer, and that is...
Should just...
Yes, they're right here. Oh, you know what? I could have just done this.
Yeah, that would have been easier. Yeah. Also, there you go.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so getting back to this, let's see. I have kind of limited options again. You're killing me. You're killing me. Let's try to get out
so
of the
blue
way.
counterspell says they had a house rule that in Warhammer, if the dice came back off the floor, it's a 1. I like that. So that's a. I would say that would be a great Varia house rule. That if you roll your dice off the table, it's a 1.
Good news is it less applies to me than it does to someone else I know. Cough, cough. Anyway, I just tossed the 3-3.
Okay.
Yeah, hey, I may be the dead man here, but I'm still got a few more shots left in me, I think.
Combo my dagger, say pass.
Doing a little praying right now. I will. Unfortunately, I think my move is to pass right now.
All right, I'll also pass.
Okay, here we go. Big money, big money, big money. Please, big money. This is why I never go to casinos. Not true, but ooh, hey, okay.
Blue
okay.
counterspell. This one's for you, buddy. Let's see what I got. Oh, I got a 4, a 2, and a 3, so that's 9 total.
9 total.
You have 6 total, so you are dead.
Dead again. Wolf.
Feels good. Feels good.
Yeah, man. I think you gave me bad juju. I posted that online on the Twitter to go and get
You
the
never
fans
don't
riled
talk
up. And
don't talk smack, man. Never talk smack.
so true,
Comes
so
back to
true.
bite you. But
Anyway, yeah.
all right, so that is Varia. So our plan is to continue to do these streams. Next Thursday, we'll try to do another one. Try out 2 more decks that you haven't seen already. So there's 5 more that we haven't played. And yeah, with that, if you guys have any other questions, we'll just open it up to some Q&A. Try to answer what we can. And Sean is forgetting the most critical aspect of this simulator that we're using.
Oh, can I please do that?
Yeah, do it, man.
Oh, I love it. I get rage quit and just flip it and go.
Except as the master, I can just undo. It's like Dormammu came to bargain. I can just completely redo the entire thing. But Blue Counterspell says, if you can't hit the table, what chance did your army have? It's like stormtroopers, they can't aim for crud, right? Because they can't see out of their own helmets.
I honestly think some of them are just pacifists. They're just like, I have to be signed up for this, so that way the Galactic Empire doesn't, basically kill me. And so, bwam, 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 try not to kill as many people as I can. Bwam.
I think our next class should be a trooper who wants to miss.
That'd be an interesting class. Right. So we do have a question. Blue Counterspell again. What aspect did you think was missed from other card games that Varia completes? So can I start this one off, actually?
Yeah, go ahead. Because you know that I'll go into a tirade.
You're gonna go for like an eon. Let me put it that way. I know, but getting to what I believe, I've always felt like whenever I design decks or play card games in general, I always feel like I am playing an RTS kind of playing the person who's sitting in the back. Who's the general of all the troops, and isn't really in the thick of things. One of the things I really like to feel is if I'm the entity that's actually, especially if you have any type of role play or I'm not giving out any type of trademarked or named branded groupings. Of other games, but if you ever have a role play where you have a, can I say dungeon master? Can I? Is that legal? I think so.
That's fine.
All right. So anyways, whenever you have a dungeon master or whatnot,
game police are gonna come and they're gonna.
Hey, I'm trying to make sure that I stay as straight of the road as possible. But anyways, whenever you have a dungeon master or whatnot, I feel like I can have the freedom to interact with the world and the other players as I choose, have my little side conversations, have everything I want. I played Warhammer a while back. I played 40K also, Warhammer 40K. But I always felt like I was the general in those scenarios. A few other games that I've played out there that are in the TCG genre as well. I've always felt disconnected, and I really think that Varia goes and talks to the connection between essentially it is you, like you, the connection between you and the fight is there because you are. Yes, I have a deck that shows this character. Right, and it's a class deck. It's a class. It is not a I am role playing this person who in this photo is Magnus, right? But it is a class deck that allows me to go and essentially become the character I want to become, and then me do the physical interactions rather than me delegate my workload, my tasks to always have to delegate, right? There is some delegation that can be had, right, in this environment in Varia, but if I don't want to delegate, I don't have to, and that's what I find beautiful about this is I get the full experience of the fight, and I can use this in ways that are not just this play style. And I'm gonna tip our hat a little here, but like you can take this and walk over and take it to your DM, to your group or whatever, and you can come up with some crazy scenarios that don't have to be directly this style, but this system is modular and you feel like you are the person who's interacting with it. And that's really what I take away. And that's my biggest thing. So, and I know that was a long-winded answer.
No, that's fine.
Go
So
for it, buddy.
I'm gonna go. I'll be short and sweet. So, really, it's two things. So to echo what Sean said, like he and I are huge trading card game fans, right? But the majority of the card games out there, the principal way where you interact with your opponent is through like some form of minion or army, right? And so our kind of design goal was what would it be like to be one of those minions? So rather than be the general of an army, what's it like to be a soldier on the front lines? What's it like to be an assassin skulking through the shadows? And so I think that our game really captures that feeling in a way that no other card game does. Like I can't even think of a card game that would allow me to really truly feel like a singular assassin who's out there, collecting bounties. Like I could hire a bunch of assassins or summon a bunch, but to just be a singular character and really be the only person doing the stuff, I think that's like a niche that or a niche that we fill, right? Mm-hmm. Really, the thing that I think that we do the best, though. I think that was the question, right? Or what is missed?
What missed from other card games? Yeah, but you can answer what you did best. What we do best.
Yeah.
You can tangent.
I don't know that I want to tangent that far.
Okay.
Really, I think what we do best. If I could use a video game analogy, right? A lot of games back in the day were turn-based, right? So like old school Golden Sun or Pokemon or the old Final Fantasy games, right? They were turn-based games. And so you would take your turn and your opponent would take their turn and vice versa, right? Back and forth. And most card games are that way. They're turn-based. And so you're always in this position where like you play a card and then you walk away and go get pizza and a drink and come back 10 minutes later and figure out like what happened while you were gone, or like your opponent is sitting there comboing off and playing a million different cards and you're left wondering like, what am I doing? Like, what is my character doing while you stand there and cycle through your deck and play 50 million different things and combos and summon like 30,000 creatures? Like what am I doing? Am I just standing there? And so Varia is in my mind, like when video games evolved and went from being turn-based to being like action RPGs, like a Diablo or a World of Warcraft or like Tales of Symphonia, where it wasn't really turn-based anymore. Like while your enemies were attacking you, you're attacking your enemies. And while you're standing there trying to summon a pyroblast or whatever, there's a rogue sneaking up behind you and like garroting you, or backstabbing you. And it's like you have to make decisions kind of like in real time. And so I think that Varia gets like super close to capturing that same kind of feeling in a trading card game, where like every action that you take literally in this game affords your opponent time to have a reaction. So like even when you're playing your ultimate big hit, like I'm gonna decapitate you, like I have a chance to flip out of the way. I have a chance to dodge. I have a chance to enter stealth. Like, there are things that I can do. I'm not just standing there, waiting for my turn. Like, while you're doing something, I'm doing something. And ultimately, that's my favorite part of this game, is that it creates those moments where, it almost feels continuous. Like, there really aren't turns, so to speak. It's all moment to moment, like who's doing what and when, and what's my opponent doing, how am I reacting, how am I gonna counter them, that sort of thing. So it's like a high level of interactivity that I think we did really well.
And one last note, because I completely agree with everything you said there. And one last note is in that real time scenario, there's also real time whiffs, right, and real time randomness. There's some variability, so that way it's not all pre-scripted and guaranteed. And I don't feel like I ever, even you saw it here today. It's rough sitting at a lower health, but I didn't feel like I was definitely going to lose the first time. The second time I my cards in my hand were not looking as pretty. But the first time I thought, if I can just get this decapitate off, or if I can just roll the 6 and he rolls the 1, and that type of randomness also is something that I feel is a big miss on other card games, because I feel like that plays to what you were speaking to, Anne, as well.
Yeah. Cool.
That continuity. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the question. Thanks, everyone, for coming out to the stream. Hopefully you had some fun, saw some stuff, got to know the game a little bit better. And,
if you have more questions, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, definitely. You can hit us up on Twitter if you have more questions. If you like what you see, both of these decks are available right now on our website for pre-order, as well as 5 other decks. So we'll be showcasing those every week as we do this. We'll bust out 2 more of the decks, try to show them off, so you can get an idea of kind of what's coming when we ultimately do order and distribute the decks later this year. So with that, we'll end the stream, and thanks guys for stopping by.